Are you wondering why it feels like there's something missing from your life? Stay tuned to learn more. When someone is experiencing a feeling of something missing from his or her life, that's usually a sign of growth. It's called personal growth. Honey?
Yes.
Will you please share with us your thoughts on personal growth?
All right. I'll combine thoughts and ideas from motivational speakers because they're the ones that normally talk about this topic. And then we'll mix in what the teachings or what the Ascended Masters teach us about this topic, right?
Okay.
See how they intertwine. Motivational speakers, what they'll tell you is that the definition of personal growth is twofold. One, you as the individual, you need to know and understand who you are. And you need to know, at least have an idea as to where you want to go and the type of individual that you want to be in your life.
Okay.
So that's the first part. The second part is recognize that in order for you to get to what you envision for yourself, you have to challenge yourself. You always have to be willing to grow, so you can reach your highest potential. So those two things combined define personal growth. Do you follow so far?
I'm following.
Now, going along the same path here, numerous motivational speakers talk about different criteria or different points that will help you improve with your personal growth or accomplish personal growth. And one of the first points that they mention is you need to know, you have to be aware of yourself. You have to improve your awareness, like where you are, the environment that you're in, things that are going on around you. You have to be better at knowing what's happening around you. You can't just be oblivious to everything.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you follow that so far?
Yes.
From what you know about the teachings, do you see this fitting anywhere? Or how would anything with the teachings fit with this?
Well, from the teaching standpoint, from what I have learned, as you become more aware of yourself and your surrounding, you're able to better make sure that you're protected properly, that you can start handling situations before they get out of hand because you're aware of what's taking place.
All right, but what would you want to be protected from? You say protected.
Yes, that's always my first thing, put on protection. From negative thoughts, negative energies, anything that's non-beneficial that could come into your whole area.
You're getting technical though.
Oh, am I?
So when you're saying negative energies, we're talking about people might be jealous of you.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be aware that that's a possibility. That's what the awareness means, right?
Mm-hmm.
People might have wishes for you that are not very good. That's what I mean by beneficial,
right?
Not non-beneficial. They might hope you fail, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hope you fall down and break a leg or something. Some people think that way.
Right.
So when you're aware that that's a possibility, that's where the tools that 190 Vision provides to individuals come in and help. I think that's what you were pretty much saying, right?
Yes, that's part of it, yes.
So make it layman's term, not technical. Like that's hard to follow what you're saying there.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Okay.
Okay, so now how do you become aware? Because of the training that we give, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can go and try to read more books about how to become aware, be more aware of your environment, be more aware of what's going on around you, or walk around and be suspicious, right? Like, I wonder what they're up to.
Mm-hmm.
Many people do that. Or they go, I wonder what the ulterior motive is. Why are they doing this? Or why are they saying this? And from the teaching of this in the Masters, we learn that we don't need to spend time on that. Because once we connect with this spiritual realm properly, or a spiritual team, they guide us. They give us the awareness that we need, the information that makes us aware of what's happening. You're going to say something now.
I was going to ask, is that similar to really becoming conscious about what you do and what happens around you? Because for me, I used to go through life and I didn't really pay attention or observe many things, you know? But then as I started on this journey where I started to learn to improve myself, then I became more conscious of how I spoke, and my behavior, how I reacted or responded to things, and then also how whatever situation I was in, or environment as you call it, I became more conscious of those things.
And what made you become more conscious?
That's a good question. I don't recall.
Well, I thought maybe you would say because of what you were learning.
Oh, well, yes. Yes, when I started learning more about the teachings, yes.
Are you just agreeing with me on that?
No, because
okay.
I'm thinking back as you're asking the question. And yes, the more I started to focus on improving myself and helping myself, the more I did become aware of all of or conscious.
Now you know
different things taking place.
Sorry. You know that you can become more aware of yourself and helping yourself with all these other things that are out there. It doesn't have to be through the teachings, right?
Yes, I know. But they didn't help me to the degree that this helps me.
Well, did you try the other things?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I want to ask you what those are. So that's how I become more aware,
mm-hmm.
you know, and here with One-Night Vision, you're helped with that. The second thing that the motivational speakers talk about is maximizing your potential. You know, how do you reach your highest potential?
You really have to work at it. You have to, I mean, that's where that being conscious and aware comes in. And you have to make sure that you're really actively trying to help yourself.
And that's the first part still. That's still being aware.
Oh.
Maximizing your potential, what that would mean, normally outside before I learned the teachings, I would put a lot of work into that, right? Doing a lot of research on my own and trying to figure out what I need to do. With the help of the Ascended Masters, though, I know that as I build my connection with them, they guide me. They let me know exactly what I should be looking at in order for me to maximize my full potential, because they know what my purpose is. See, many individuals don't know what their purpose is in this lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you probably have met individuals that say, I don't really know what I'm supposed to be doing. Have you ever met individuals like that?
Oh, yes. I see people posting that all the time.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. On social media.
They're only doing that because they haven't been taught how to connect with their higher self. Right? Because the moment they do that, then all of a sudden they're receiving guidance every day that helps them with that. They still might not know what they're supposed to do, but all of a sudden, every day they're waking up and they're engaged in some activity that's getting them closer. And the closer they get, all of a sudden it becomes clear, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Do you follow? Do you agree with that or no?
No, I agree with that. Mm-hmm. I'm following.
So how do we do that here? How do we help someone with One-Night Vision? For example, our paradigm shift group, mm-hmm. one of the things that they've learned, and then the other groups have learned it, is what? The word of the day. What have you learned from the word of the day? Just keep it short. our time is limited.
That the word of that you get for the day is basically your lesson for the day, and it will come up repeatedly in different ways, through different means throughout your day, and it helps you stay more focused on yourself and whatever that lesson is that you're supposed to be working on with that word.
Well, it's not necessarily a lesson, though, because it could be something that you're supposed to be doing to be engaged in that moves you forward. So sometimes people, when they hear the word lesson, it's like, oh, this is not going to be good. That's how I learned from it.
Oh.
But it could be something good.
Oh, I was just viewing it like you would in school. It's a lesson is a lesson. You read it, you learn from it, you move on. It's not like there's anything good or bad from it. That's what I thought.
But some people don't see it that way.
Okay.
Some people learn lessons by what? By going through something that's negative. So
Okay.
I just want to clear that up, right? That it's more of something you're being guided on a daily basis to engage in something that propels you forward, which means that you are growing, your personal growth is taking place simply by engaging this exercise first thing in the morning, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that handles the maximizing your potential. Another thing is this: if you even get, let's say, engage in this activity, but then you don't follow through on it, is it going to be any help?
No.
No, right? So that's why you need to push yourself and challenge yourself to make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
The third thing is making necessary changes. Why are you smiling?
Because that's usually very challenging.
Why do you say that?
Well, I know for me, and I'll only speak from my perspective, that I was comfortable doing certain things. And then all of a sudden, in order for me to move forward, I had to change those habits. So that's why I said it's very uncomfortable sometimes.
So what made you, I guess, step out of your comfort zone?
Because I knew it was for my benefit and that was going to help me to become a better person, the person that I really wanted to be.
So give me an example of what would be so challenging for you that you had a hard time making that adjustment, or making that step forward.
Mostly it was with my thinking. I used to always have negative thoughts, like and jumping to conclusions. So if someone would come near me and we start talking and they make a comment, well, based on how I interpreted the comment, I would immediately judge them or come to some kind of conclusion about that person when they could have just been making a comment that was completely harmless, but because of the way I viewed it and the way I thought, it was mean and hurtful.
Do you have an example?
Not that's coming to the top of my head here.
Okay, how about someone saying, for example, and I say this because I know how you felt about this.
Mm-hmm.
You only told me about this afterwards. You were not like this when we started working together, but you told me about this. If someone came to you and they said, you know, when it comes to abortion, I don't understand why they just don't leave these women alone, because it's their body. They decide what they want to do with it. Now, again, I stress that this is the past, right? You were very young at that time, but
yes, I would have said immediately in my head back in those days that, oh, that person's going down to you nowhere because they just want to kill people.
Who are they trying to kill?
Babies, unborn babies.
Oh, okay.
You said abortion, so I'm going with that example.
People, huh? All right, got it. So immediately you've judged the person.
Yes.
Because what the person has to say, you disagree with.
Right, exactly.
Well, if that were to happen now, what would be your
now it's just
response?
okay, that's just That's what you think. That's your understanding. I'm not judging them or anything now. It's just, okay, they're just sharing with me how they view things and what they understand.
Right.
And that's fine.
Is it good or bad?
Nope.
That's the difference, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that goes back to being able to make that adjustment of saying, okay, only God judges.
Mm-hmm.
I should not be judging, right? I should respect somebody's opinion. Whether or not I agree is not the point,
Mm-hmm.
because I could be wrong, right?
Right.
And that's why we don't go judging. Because the biggest challenge with individuals that go judging is because they truly believe that they're right and that the other person is wrong.
Yes. And one of the biggest things that helped me get through that and not judge or jump to conclusions was when I was told, how do you know you weren't like that in a previous life? I was like, what? Oh my gosh, that's right. We experience all kinds of things. What if I was like that? Oh, and I just judged that person, And it was like, okay. So that really helped me to be able to move forward and get past that and really pay attention to my thoughts and my initial reactions so that I could stay calm, breathe, and remember I might have done that too. Now move forward with the response.
So the way you view past life is as a tool to remind you how you should be a better individual.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
Not as something that it was good or bad, or we get caught up in it.
No.
It's more like, okay, this is what it was like. How does it apply to now?
That's right.
And how do I move forward? Which is the personal growth part, right?
Yes.
So, if you notice, there are two ways to handle this personal growth.
Mm-hmm.
You can go and try to do it by yourself, read all these other books, or you can take an approach where you know you have a team that helps you with it.
Correct.
I know what approach you've taken.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you take that approach?
Because trying to do it on my own didn't work.
But how did you know that this would work? The approach where you tap into your spiritual team would work.
That comes from my background of being raised a Catholic, and then also with personal experiences I had with the spiritual realm, I'll call it, because St. Anthony and St. Jude, growing up Catholic, I would pray to them and ask them to help me find things, and it would happen so quickly. So that already instilled in me that I have a spiritual team working with me. So it was easier for me to work with a spiritual team and individuals who could guide me with my spiritual team versus continuing to try to just do it on my own.
But when I met you, you were not open to the teachings. And the teachings is about spiritual team. Was it because the way it was presented?
Yes, it was the way it was presented because you had to represent it to me.
Okay. So why were you not open to it before? Because you told me
I was partially open to it.
Partially.
Not fully open to it, but go ahead.
Why partially?
Because of how it was presented to me.
How was it presented?
It was basically, I was told about the 4 elements. Now go do research.
Oh, okay.
What? What does that have to do with me and my life and my spiritual journey?
No, but you told me that when you heard decrees, you thought they were from the you-know-where.
Right, but this was from the very beginning. This was the very first thing was told to me, to go find out what the elementals are and do research on them.
So now,
but I wasn't giving a reason as to why or how it's going to help me. And then from there, when I was introduced to the decrees, I was just given a pamphlet. Okay, so I read through them. Wow, these words are powerful. These words are great. And so I included them in my daily prayers. And then it was you where I heard the first decrees in recording form. And that's when I thought, oh, this is not from God. This cannot be from God, the way these sound. And that's when, more of that skepticism came in. And that's why I said you had to represent it. You had to tell it to me again, or teach me really how it works.
Got it. Now, based on our conversation,
mm-hmm.
someone will get the feeling that in order to experience personal growth, they have to believe in God. Because you keep talking about God, and I've mentioned God a few times as well.
Well, you don't have to. That's just what's familiar to me based on my background. But you don't have to believe in God. I mean, most people think and feel or believe that there is a higher power somewhere or a source that we all derive from and that we're all connected energetically. So
Also, it's still accepting some type of higher source.
right.
It's just not referring to it as God.
Correct. I think that would be more accurate.
Okay. And I only point that out because someone can have a spiritual team and not believe in God.
Right.
Right? Because once they learn what a spiritual team is comprised of, then that would make sense to them.
Mm-hmm.
That's something they also learn in one of the classes, right?
Right.
Or training session for 190 Vision. The final thing is, live life. What was that? How does that come across to you? Just saying
live life?
Mm-hmm.
Well, to me, now, that means forget about the past. It's already happened. That's done. Let it go. And living life means be in the present. Be right here, right now. You have today, what's happening at this very moment, and what will happen next. So if you're looking or trying to look ahead into the future, which would be tomorrow, then you could bombard yourself with thoughts of worry and over planning or all kinds of things. It hasn't happened. Just focus on right now and just enjoy the moment that you're in.
Good point. And people stress themselves because of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Again, I think that goes back to not knowing that you have a team there for you. Because if you know you have a team of spiritual beings that are waiting to help you in every way they can, if you allow them to,
Mm-hmm.
then you don't spend your time trying to figure out things.
Right.
Because they will help you with it. They will give you solutions. You just have to learn how to tap into that source.
Yes.
And that's what we're here for. We teach people how to do that. So personal growth is much easier to me, and this is just my opinion, I'll get to it in a moment, if you combine the two, right? You have many people believe that their mental and physical body
Mm-hmm.
are the two things that they should rely on for personal growth. Because you have to think, you have to come up with solutions, and then you have to take action with your physical body. I believe that there's a third element, which is plug into your spiritual team, understand who your spiritual self is, and then it becomes easier. What are your thoughts on that? What are your closing thoughts on that?
I tend to agree with that, only based on the experiences I've had in my life. And that combining all of them together helps propel you forward in a better way, maybe, and even a faster way. So those are my thoughts. Let us know what yours are. Remember to subscribe and like this video. Join the Facebook group 190 Vision to connect with others on the same journey. Get help by visiting our website 190vision.com. Support the 190 Vision mission by clicking on the donate button, which is at the bottom of each page of our website. Do you feel like there's something missing from your life?
Stage.